Hi, I'm Scott,
And I'm Luke.
and we're Android guys,
Give us 5 to 10 minutes of your day
and we'll tell you about a product or service
or an app that you might be interested in.
just ahead, an all-in-one kit for growing herbs, vegetables, and more.
Hey, Scott, what's going on?
Oh, not much. What are you up to?
Nothing. What do you got today?
I'm going to talk to you about the Rise Garden.
Okay.
That's the brand. And I'm going to talk more specifically about the personal garden.
Okay.
It's a personal Rise Garden, indoor garden.
Oh,
There's lots of different ways to figure out what I'm talking about if you're Googling
right. Okay.
at home.
Yeah.
This is what it sounds like. It's a garden that you grow in your house,
Uh-huh.
and you can grow up to 12 items,
Oh.
12 plants,
Yeah.
and basically have all the things that you need that you would normally plant outside in the spring and the summer at your fingertips in your kitchen.
And there's some smarts associated with it,
There
right?
are some smarts.
All right, we're going to take a break, and I want to get into the smarts.
You got it.
All right, Scott, you're talking about the Rise personal garden.
Yes.
This thing gives you the ability to grow things year round because it works indoors, but it has some tech in it too to help you. So tell us a little about that.
So it's not a new thing to have an indoor garden.
Sure.
You know, I've got a couple that I've had. I don't want to talk about other brands competing products,
Right.
but I have one that I've used for a couple of years now at home. You grow little pods and hit them with the lights and the water and everything. This takes things a little bit further. I should say a lot further. You get not just the pods, and you put them in, these little look like K-cup kind of things.
Yeah.
Put them down inside of this container with the water in it. But you can pair the Rise Garden itself to your phone.
Okay.
Because the garden itself is not just water that sits there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole kit.
Okay.
You have water. You've got power to it that has a pump, like filter.
Yeah.
You have, so it'll kind of like cycle the water.
Uh-huh.
The app will tell you, walk you through the process of testing your water to check the pH level.
Oh, nice.
You can add sprout, basically these are like additives kind of things to it. And the app will tell you might want to do 5 milliliters of this.
Oh.
Do a squirt of this pH balance. Up in the top of it, there are lights, red, white, and blue lights that kind of change throughout the day to mimic sunlight.
Interesting.
So it'll come on in the morning and get brighter, and then it'll dim in the evening. And the app is nice because it'll help you. You start out by putting your little pods in what's considered a nursery.
Yeah.
Which is like this small little thing of water, and after 5 to 8 days or whatever, you move them into the garden itself.
Okay.
And they will continue to grow. And compared to the other product that I have at home, it's fascinating how quickly these things take off.
Really?
And and the way that these roots work.
Oh.
So growing up, and for the longest time, I always assumed you had to have your plants in dirt, right?
Yeah. Okay.
With some of these other competing products, you have these dirt pods.
Yeah.
And you're kind of root bound because unless you take it out of this miniature garden and put it in a pot, you're stuck with this tiny ball of dirt.
Right.
And
it'll outgrow that.
And it can't outgrow. The roots can't expand. It doesn't, doesn't think it has the room to.
Okay.
So I had a chance to see this at CES back in January.
Yeah.
And that was my first question is, what are some of the big differences between your product and X?
Right.
And he explained about the root bound problem. And I said, so what happens for yours? And he pinched the thing and he pulled it out. And it's like this huge wad of root that's just hanging out in the water. And the stuff that I've got, it's only been in there a couple of weeks. But if you pull up the lettuce and look, you've got roots that are up to a foot long already, just kind of like swimming and
they just hang out in the water.
They're just hanging out in the water.
Wow.
They're getting their nutrients. They're getting their light. They're getting all that they need. It's really cool.
That's awesome. So is the idea for this, is that you can plant things and have it year round. Eventually, do you transplant it to a more traditional garden, or can you just work off of the Rise system?
My understanding is you can work off of the Rise system and harvest right from it, continue to use it.
Yeah.
The gentleman that showed it to us, he might have been the CEO. They've got the taller ones. There's like bigger gardens.
Yeah.
He had tomato plants, and he said that some of these he's had to basically just take out because they would grow like
so much,
and he couldn't give the tomatoes away.
Wow.
He said that it was just so lush.
Yeah.
But he was just constantly picking these things off of that. So this particular kit you get, you can buy like a starter kit. So you get 12 plants. I'm trying to remember. Actually, I've got the app here. What's nice is when you move them into the garden, you can see exactly what you have growing where.
Now you put that data in though, right? Okay.
Yep. So you can tell it this is what I'm growing.
It's not sensing what you have in the garden.
Right.
Okay.
But what's awesome about the app is it will also tell you how to harvest everything that you have.
Yeah.
You're going to want to cut this at the base. You're going to want to trim this from the ends.
Okay.
This is what you look for. Like there's all these like lessons. There's a whole library of like
kind of for lack of a better term, for dummies.
It really, yeah. So you've got tons and tons of different products that you can get. So if you're like, oh, I'm gonna do like 6 different types of lettuce, that's cool. I'm growing basil and cilantro and some other things that kind of come with the starter thing. So it's $2.99.
Okay,
which is that's an annual membership. So with that, you're getting $50 off the garden itself.
Okay.
But then you're getting discounts on other things like the nutrients, accessories. You get a grow box that ships every 90 days. So that's like your sprouts, your nutrients, those types of things. Or you could just say, hey, I'm actually just going to go with just the garden itself.
Yeah.
$3.50.
Okay.
So there are other options of the personal garden. Price-wise, it feels right to me.
Okay.
I feel like these are going to be a hardier, more in line with the tastes and what you should expect from these things with these like pH balancing. It isn't just I'm using the same well water and just set it and forget it and add more water as I need it. Like this feels much more intentional. Okay. And just seeing the growth on this thing, it's starting to really take off.
Wow.
After just a couple of weeks, it's really cool. And I do want to start adding more to it. Just because, you see these pictures and you're like, yep, that's what I want. I want to be able to go over and cut off chives and go over and do parsley and thyme and these things as I need to, or I just want a whole bunch of lettuce types so I can just do like a mixed greens bowl. So it's pretty cool. I'm about 3 weeks into it now. Okay. So I've been taking pictures of things along the way. Yeah. But I'm in love with it.
Nice.
And I think that if you're considering that here, springtime, get a head start on some of these things. Sure. If you want to transplant or move them out, this is a great way to do that indoors. And to ensure that you're going to get a nice, it's an intentional system. Yeah. That kind of walks you through it and have an assistant that says, hey, it's time to do this. Right. Here's what you need to look for in this, where otherwise you might be kind of flying blind as a would-be green thumb.
Right. Okay. That sounds awesome. So this is the Rise Garden Personal Indoor Garden.
That's correct.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, Thanks for listening.
See ya.